Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chew News. As always, I'm your host, Dee Brady. With me is my
The
co-host.
one who forgot to press record the first time, Teichichu.
Yes, this is a take two, but stuff happens. In today's episode, we are going to, as always, go over the newest raid news, as well as some merch news, and then the new game that got released, Pokemon Sleep. And then we're going to talk about Unite for a little bit and a new distribution that is tying in with the anime. So let's go ahead and get on to it. So there was a full week's break between the final Delphox raid and then this newest 7-star raid. A lot of people were thinking when it got announced that it normally would run after the most recent raid that we have, which was Delphox as the fairy Terra type. But I think they were waiting to see if there were any bugs, so they were possibly learning from their past mistakes. But we are rounding out the starters that we've seen in the or in the data leaks so far with Rillaboom as a normal Terra type.
Wow.
So this is something that I definitely predicted whenever we saw in the data leaks that Rillaboom was going to be one of the raid event Pokemon. So I was like, it's either going to be a normal type or a ground type. I was kind of right. So
You did
I will
it.
be preparing my trusty dusty iron hands that just decimates any normal type. So prepare your fighting types and get ready for battle. So with that, I'm
Woo.
going to toss it on over to Tay for some merch news.
Alright, we're gonna rapid fire this merch because I already did it once and that's really unfortunate. So, Pokemon merch news. We have some new t shirts and crew necks with some of our favorite trainers from the anime and their partner Pokemon, such as Serena. We also have Raihan, we have Piers, a lot of people from Sword and Shield. We have Nessa, we have Bee, we have May, we have Leon, we have Marnie. Um, and yeah, Raihan, Leon, very exciting. Um, with their partner Pokemon, like I said, we have T-shirts that are retailing for $24.99, and we also have crew necks that are retailing for $49.99, which totally makes sense. They also have trainer 6-pack posters, which with a bunch of it's six per pack. They're retailing for $19.99, and it's this trainer with their partner Pokemon, so that's always fun. We also have the Pokemon Go Plus, which has been released on the Pokemon Center website, retailing for $54.99. And that's basically, I believe, more for like Pokemon Sleep. Instead of having your phone face down, the Pokemon Go Plus will be able to track your sleep and help you out. They also have some back to school stuff going on. I don't know why, when it's July, and why they can't release more plushes, but that's beyond me. They have some school notebooks that are retailing for $19.99. They have Pikachu and Mimikyu all over, Snorlax and Gengar. They also have some pencil cases of Gengar and Snorlax, retailing for $12.99. They also have some good old lunch packs for $19.99. They have Pikachu, Snorlax, and Gengar. We also have some backpacks, two different versions. We have the fold over ones, which are $64.99, which I believe they're a little bit bigger than our regular size backpack. And then we have the regular size backpacks that are $49.99. For the bigger ones, we have Snorlax and Pikachu and Mimikyu all over. Then for the regular backpacks, we have Gengar and Pikachu and Mimikyu all over as well. We also have some new books. We have Pokemon the Trainer's Mini Exploration Guide to Sinnoh, which is $14.99. We also have the Trainer's Mini Exploration Guide to Hoenn, which is $11.99. Then we also have another pin with a Pokemon and an item and a chain attaching them, and this months, who knows. This Pokemon is Meowth with their amulet coin. And then we also have the new mood Pokemon for the month of July, because Pokemon's been coming out with mood Pokemon. And this month is Phanpy, who is a very playful figure. And that's retailing for $14.99. And lastly, because Pokemon Worlds is occurring, I believe, the next week or two in Japan, the World Championships, we have Pokemon X Koge with the Gamono plush that is 8 and 3/4 inches. That is retailing for $30. I can only assume it is so much because it is Watch my cat fall from the sky because um it's a special one that's based on an artwork in Los Angeles that where Pokemon are made out of crystals or a really cool kind of shiny material. Um, and yeah, that's the only reason I can think of it being retailed for that much. It's in a kimono. It's 100% for Worlds. Um, so yeah, no Build-A-Bear news as of yet, other than Sprigatito. It was recently released, but that's not really news. But your turn.
Well, that was very fast. That was very, very fast. So, as we mentioned at the top of the episode, Pokemon Sleep has finally dropped. We've been waiting quite a while, a couple years for this new game.
Jeez
And we'll
Louise.
be talking more about it in our discussion question. But it is finally out. By the time this episode gets released in the States, it'll be live for just over a week. Other places in the world, like I know Australia and Japan, I believe it'll be reaching the almost 2 week mark. So definitely let us know how you're enjoying the game. But with that, that is pretty quick. So Tay, what's going on in Unite?
Unite recently we had Mewtwo that was released, and essentially a lot of people were nervous about Mewtwo because they thought the same thing with Mewtwo was going to happen with Zacian, where Zacian was super overpowered, and it took the team, the devs, a little bit of a longer time to be able to fix. Um, so a lot of people were worried about it, which is understandable. Um, and so Mewtwo came out, and Mewtwo was broken. I know, shocker. So they had to do emergency maintenance to help out and make Mewtwo a little less broken. I personally don't think it did much, so I haven't. I've lost like 4 games, and I said okay, I'm done for the day. And so yeah, like I said, they did emergency maintenance. I personally think that legendary Pokemon, they because they make them, they buff them, and then they reduce an item slot for them. I don't think that they're great. Um, as for the health of the game, he's hunting a fly. um, but so I just don't think it's good for the health of the game, and so yeah, I personally I don't think they should be implementing legendaries like that when there's a vast amount of Pokemon that they could be implementing instead, because that got like 1,000 Pokemon to choose from, and you want to choose the legendaries, which are only going to take up like 50.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. And to round out the news portion of this episode, you have a new special giveaway that Tay will have the code for that you can put into Scarlet and Violet. But the golden child of Pokemon, aka Charizard, is getting yet another event. But this is tying in with the anime a little bit. So recently it was revealed that freed from the New Horizons anime, his Charizard has the Dark Terra type. So they're releasing a Charizard with the Dark Terra type. Like I said, Tail have the code and kind of some brief details about the Charizard up on the screen right now. But that's currently going on. Like I said, it's tying in with the anime and whatnot. But that is it for our news segment. So when we come back, like we said earlier, we are going to be talking about the new game, Pokemon Sleep.
hi, Bo.
And welcome back, everybody. So as we said earlier, we will be talking about Pokemon Sleep, which is the newest game in the Pokemon franchise, something that got announced several years ago, and we are finally getting to play it, or play loose terms, because this is just an app that tracks your sleep but also implements some level of gameplay with Pokemon. So I have been enjoying it. It came out in the States last Thursday. Uh, it's pretty fun and interesting. All you have to do is just kind of like care for Pokemon. It's a really kind of relaxed game, but you sleep with your phone on either your bed or on your pillow, and it'll track your sleep. It'll record anything that goes on during sleep, like talking, snoring, whatnot. And then when you wake up, you get assigned a sleep type of either dozing, slumbering, or snoozing.
Is it only
And
three?
with that come, I think so. I think it's only three. I Let me double check that real quick.
What type are you?
I start and it's changed. It's changed. It changes every night, and that's something that I think is cool because I
Mine
started
doesn't
out my first
change.
couple of nights as the dozing type,
Yeah.
and then I've been able to get some snoozing, one, but mainly slumbering.
I've only been dozing.
But also, this is something that I thought was very amusing. Um, I saw an article recently. It was a joking article, but it was saying how Pokemon Sleep is quite possibly the hardest Pokemon game because you get a certain amount of points based on how well, like how much or how little you sleep. Obviously, if you don't sleep as much, you don't get as many points. But the goal is to get like a full 8.5 hours of sleep. And on a good day, I get maybe 6.5, maybe 7 hours. But I rarely do I get a full 8 hours of sleep. And also, like this game, while fun, just highlights how poor my sleep schedule is.
I have not. I've only gotten past 8 hours once, and that was last night. And I think I slept more than 8 hours, but I also don't know if it's tracking my television because I go to bed with the
It
TV.
Yeah, it does tell you like how long it takes you to properly fall asleep. Like there was one that it said it took me an hour and a half to fall asleep, but last night I was just so tired. It was like you fell asleep within 15 minutes, and I was like, that is the quickest I have ever fallen asleep.
It's
But like I said, it'll track your sleep and say, oh, you slept for X amount of hours and X amount of minutes. But the thing that I think is a little shady, it's like you slept more, like X amount of minutes more than you did the previous night, or you slept less than you did the previous night. And I'm like, ooh,
I,
really coming in here and, like I said, showing how poor my sleep is.
well, it's funny you say that because I was having a few very tough times at work, as you know. I was having a few tough days, so I went to bed like I just want to get the day over with. I want to get done. And for the 2 nights where I was just like I'm done, I got a Pokemon that was an angry sleep. So in my seriously, I did for both nights. And I was like, I don't know if this is because it's actually tracking or if it just knows.
I think it might know.
It
I think
does
it
know.
might know.
It said today I had a
But you're
bad day.
also able to Yeah, you're also able to. So I had to look up how to basically catch Pokemon in this game.
Of course you did.
You have to max their. Yes, because I didn't know how to do it.
You can't just sleep and enjoy the company of your Pokemon.
No,
There's
I
no
want to
rule
know if
book.
I. There's no rule book, but if I see a Pokemon that I want, I'm gonna try and catch it.
No, that makes sense.
So you basically have to max out its friendship to begin with, and then you can catch it and add it to your team.
Yeah. There's one Pokemon which is Ghastly that I haven't. I've only seen it once, but I'm hoping that it'll occur to
Comes
have him
back.
again. He's hunting a fly.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can tell.
want. Uh, I wanted
Relax.
to. A Larvitar came one time,
Oh.
and I've been wanting it to come back because I wasn't able to officially catch it.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do I sleep so this Pokemon comes back?
Right, right. How do I sleep so it comes back? But you're also, like I said, allotted a team. And from what I can see, you're allotted a team of 5 because Snorlax is always going to be on your team.
Yes.
Because Snorlax is the central mechanic of this game. You feed Snorlax, you give it berries, you make it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is more than I do for myself, as Tay and I were talking about beforehand.
Yes. I feed my Snorlax more
But
than myself.
mhm. But my current team is Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Ekans, Riolu, and Totodile.
Oh, you have Riolu and a Totodile. That's
Hmm.
interesting. I currently
I
have.
also have I also have a Pichu, but I
Ooh.
also have a Pichu, but I since I already have a Pikachu, I may swap it out just because I don't know how this is gonna play in,
Mm-hmm.
but my Pichu has a better nature than my Pikachu does.
All you gotta do is sleep, brother.
So
There's no battling. You just you
there's
gotta
no
sleep.
battling.
I'm surprised you haven't
There's
figured out how
no
to shiny hunt
battling.
yet. Truly.
Honestly, that's coming later, but you are able to catch shinies in this game.
Yes. Um, my team currently, I'm gonna have nicknames because I nickname my Pokemon. I have my Pikachu, whose name is Bon Bon. I have Bulbasaur, who is named Little Squee. I have Psyduck, whose name is Duckin. I have Mankey, who is the angry sleeper, as I was mentioning before. His name's Angie. And then I also have a Metapod, which I will 100% switch out once given the chance. His name's Pidpod. But I also have
Pidpod.
Pidpod. I also, in the back, I have a Bellsprout, a Krogunk, and a Bulbasaur.
Oh wow.
So those are the Pokemon that I've seen or that I have. Although I do want myself my Ghastly again. Um, but we'll see what I don't know how to get. That's why this game is considered like one of the toughest right now, is because I need you to not try and step on my keyboard, please. Just don't. Just don't. Um, I want to be able to get the Ghastly, and I want to be able to get the
Hmm.
Pokemon that I can get. So I keep buying the biscuits. But also, I think that some Pokemon are harder to match their friendship with, like
Yeah.
because it like took a while to to like get some Pokemon. Excuse me. But I want to know how you're supposed to get new Pokemon. That's why I keep feeding my Snorlax
Yeah.
so that I can increase the amount of species of Pokemon that I can get.
And there's only a limited number of Pokemon in the game right now, so I'm gonna
Oh,
run
really?
through the Pokemon right now because I am on Cerebi.
Mhm.
The Bulbasaur line, Charmander line, Squirtle line, Caterpie line, Rattata line, Ekans, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Diglett, Meowth, and when I'm listing off just one, I'm listing off the entire, like that means their entire
The
family because you
line.
can evolve your Pokemon.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can evolve your Pokemon in these games. Uh, Psyduck, Mankey, Growlithe, Bellsprout, Geodude, Slowpoke, Magnemite, Doduo, Ghastly, Cubone, Kangaskhan, Pinsir, Ditto, TV, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Pichu, the baby Pokemon
Not
Pichu,
Chikorita?
Igglybuff, Toga. Yeah, Chikorita's in there. I said Chikorita.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed it because I heard Totodile and Cyndaquil, and I was like, didn't they make a sleeping plush of Chikorita?
Yes, yes.
So I was like,
I said Chikorita. I said Chikorita after Eevee.
oh, okay, okay. Go on.
Mm-hmm. The baby Pokemon Pichu, Igglybuff, Togepi,
Mhm.
Mareep, Sudowoodo. Also Bonslay's in there because I've seen that.
Mhm.
Wobbuffet, Heracross, Houndour, Larvitar, Slackoff, Sableye, Gulpin, Swablu, Absol, Wynuts, Feel, Bonsly, Riolu, Krogunk, Magzone, Togekiss, and then the remaining evolutions.
There's not very
I
many.
will say I'm not very many. I will say I'm a little salty that they included the Kanto and Johto starters, but did not include the Hoenn.
I now am going to sleep to hunt Ditto, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Those are my
Which also
three,
you can
and Ghastly.
and you can catch any Pokemon can arrive because Tay has a Bellsprout, but I've seen a Weepinbell come in.
Yeah.
So it's all about just how you sleep and what Pokemon decide they want to come to your island.
I've also had
And your
to-
Snorlax will also grow throughout the week.
Yes. I've also seen Krogunk and Toxicroak in the same sleep session. It was like a
Mhm.
whole family.
A family nap.
I think Dakota's making another pizza. Anyway,
But let us know how you guys are enjoying Pokemon Sleep and let us know what Pokemon are on your Pokemon Sleep team.
and have you caught shinies?
And yeah, have you caught any shinies? Have you caught any rare sleep types?
Let us know.
But let us know down in the comments below. When we come back, we are going to be doing everyone's favorite portion, the silly little question, but it is pertaining to one of our future birthday girls.
We're getting silly.
It is time for everyone's favorite portion, the silly little question. So, tying in our silly little question, it is Tay's birthday at the end of the week, probably by the time this comes out. So, everyone go wish her a happy, happy birthday. She's
Yay!
getting old like me.
I'm having a quarter life crisis.
But like how we did a Gemini themed discussion question slash silly question for me during my birthday, we're doing a Leo themed question, silly little question, and making a team for that. So, with our birthday girl and resident Leo, I will let her start with her beginning Pokemon.
Okay. I'm doing one that isn't like a fire type because Leos are the fire element. And I'm also not doing one that's the classic lion. Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff always has to be the star of her own show.
Jigglypuff gives off Leo energy.
Exactly. And she's not afraid to smack them on if they give her any sass. And I think that that's what any Leo would do.
Or fall asleep during her song.
Yeah, you want to give me attitude? You want to sleep while I'm talking to you? No, ma'am. No. And that's why I'm picking Jigglypuff.
Okay, that's very accurate. Mine is very straightforward, and my very first Pokemon is going to be Pyroar. Pyroar, because one, it's a fire type. Two, it's a literal lion.
No, that makes sense.
So embodiment of Leo.
Uh,
And if you want, you could do male or female. Does not matter.
oh,
But
so
I just
always
saw
has
the
to be
Barbie
a
movie,
lady.
so I'm going to go female.
Work. Next, for me, we're gonna stick with the fire type theme that you have just introduced us to. And we're gonna go with our star child. That is the favorite of all the Pokemon franchise, and that is Charizard. Because Charizard is beloved by all, and Charizard is just the star. He's literally the star of Pokemon under Pikachu, and it's a fire type. And I feel like in the anime, Ash's Charizard has very Leo energy because it doesn't want to do anything. But then when it gets jealous, it's like you wanna see some firepower energy, mama. We're gonna give it. And that's why I'm choosing Charizard because Charizard's a fire type. Dragon, which is really cool, and Leo's really cool. And yeah, we're the star child. We need to have attention always, just like Pokemon gives the attention always over to Charizard.
I want you to know I did the reaction because that was going to be my next answer
Oh,
was
I knew I had
Charizard
to get it before you did.
for the exact same reason.
Because it's true. Work.
It is true. It is true. Let's see. So because that's pretty much my answer too. So Charizard is my second.
Okay.
Who is your third?
That's a really, really good question. Um, okay, so I'm only choosing this because I think of this Pokemon. I'm specifically thinking of the movie, okay? Mewtwo. And the reason I'm choosing
Okay.
Mewtwo is because Mewtwo, once Mewtwo is born, is having existential crises, which, I think that Leos have all the time because we are a mix of we want your attention, but also we don't, like, we're also bored of your attention, and we're also, like, we want your attention, but we don't want you, but we want
Self-centered.
your attention. And Mewtwo causes, like, this whole thing with his clones. And I think he's just trying to show how important him and his clones are, and it's not wrong. But like he
Mm-hmm.
is like the energy. It's either you or it's me, because we can't have both. And that to me is very like a situation that a Leo would get into, because it's like it's either you have all the attention on me or we're not going to have the attention at all. So, I that's
Yeah.
the reason I choose Mewtwo. And Mewtwo, if you ask for someone's legendary, who's someone who's like older per se, they're going to say Mewtwo because Mewtwo was that guy, and I feel like Leos are that guy. And we're smart. And that's why the psychic.
Debatable. So my next one is also a legendary, and I was telling Tay beforehand that I almost chose this for my Gemini team, but I may have, and it's just been a while since we did that episode. But I'm gonna go with Meloetta because Meloetta is a pop star. Pop stars love themselves and they want people to love them. And Meloetta has two forms, so even more of like just the look at me, look at me, look at me kind of situation.
Always.
Always. Yeah, so that's why I'm choosing Meloetta. Meloetta just seems like, even though she could be Gemini with like the dual personalities, she's very Leo. So I'll say she's a Leo with a Gemini rising.
We're giving me a whole freaking star chart right now. That's what we're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Okay. Okay. We're going back to the fire type again for me. Um and that is Arcanine. And the reason that I'm choosing Arcanine is because dogs are loyal. Leos are loyal to their people. And if you
Mm-hmm.
want a good Arcanine, you make it have intimidate. And we can be intimidating when we want to. Sometimes we don't mean it. And we're given the tood and we don't necessarily mean to be given the tood. Sometimes we accidentally give the tood. And that's why we're Arcanine, and we're very loyal to our people. Unless you do us wrong. If you do us wrong, you're screwed.
So my next Pokemon is also a beloved Pokemon by the company. So much so that they tried to replicate its success many times.
Is it Pikachu?
Pikachu.
That was my next one.
Pikachu. Because Pikachu, star of the show, Pikachu knows she's that girl. He knows he's that boy. Uh, like I said, Pokemon has tried to repeat the success, kind of to no avail. Like, yeah, they do have their own following, but I would honestly argue that Mimikyu has more of a following than any of the Pikachu clones. But nevertheless, they are all in a category of Pikachu clones because they're all trying to be Pikachu, and Pikachu's over here like, you can't be me because I'm me. And Pikachu is in literally every single game
And anime.
and anime. Like even when Ash and Pikachu left, which they just announced that the anime with Ash will officially be coming to a close September 8th here in the States, like the English speaking countries, on Netflix, because that's when the little 11 arc mini series is going to premiere. They found a way to get a new Pikachu in the main cast for the new anime.
True.
Pikachu is very anime esque, is very Leo esque.
No, I agree. And to match your energy, I am giving us Palmot because, and it's for a very specific reason, is with Leos a lot of the time, or at least with me. If I'm putting my energy and everything into something that I think is important, I'm gonna do all that. And with Palmot's signature move, which I can't remember the name of because I'm a fake Pokemon fan. It
Revival Blessing,
no, the one that gets rid of its typing, electric. You
Double
can't use it
Shock.
again. Yes. So it literally puts out all of its electric energy, and you have to wait to get like to get it back. I feel like that just kind of says Leo energy because we put all our energy out And then, like, a lot of the
Mhm.
time, that doesn't leave much for ourselves. Even though we try to be, like, confident, but we're, like I said, we're loyal, so we try and put our energy out on other people that we really enjoy. And sometimes that doesn't always work out for us, and we end up um, feeling, like, sluggish. I guess is the.
Yeah.
It's not the right word, but, like, we feel burnout due to it. So, I feel like that's. I'm really stretching.
I mean, my last two Pokemon I'm pulling from the Gen 5 decks because, as I stated in my last video, or our last video about like a Zodiac themed team with Geminis and stuff, I assigned each of the generations a specific kind of Zodiac sign that, in my opinion, fits. In my opinion, fits. So Leo is Gen 5.
Yes, sure.
And so with that, there's a Pokemon that is literally representative of the sun in Gen 5. Volcarona.
Oh, yeah.
It replaced the sun. I know a lot of Leos like to make themselves the center and be like, I am the sun of my friend group. Everyone revolves around me.
Yes. Very that.
So they could replace the sun. They could replace the sun.
No, I agree with that. 100 freaking percent. Um,
What is your last Pokemon? Because this is your last. I still have one more.
that's a really, really, really good question. And I'm going to answer that question in just a short minute after I twirl my hair. Just a little bit. Okay, I think I have an idea now. Ninetales. And the reason I say
Yeah, because
Ninetales,
they live forever.
well, not only that, but they also like very care about their appearance, and so does Vulpix. Like they're very like prissy Pokemon, especially in the anime when we see Brock have um
Vulpix, yeah.
Vulpix and like that whole Ninetales Vulpix ordeal. We very much like things a certain way, and if they're not done that certain way, then we're gonna blow fire on you. And I think that just makes sense. Like in our head, we always like have to be presented in such a way in our heads, like with confidence. Where I think that's where Ninetales and Vulpix kind of exude. So
Hmm.
I can't believe I got through this.
My last Pokemon, like I said, is coming from the Gen 5 decks because Gen 5 is representing Leo. And
Go
it
ahead and
is
say Garbodor.
Braviary.
Oh,
You thought I was going to say Garbodor because she's your favorite.
I love Garbodor. Why Braviary?
But Braviary because it's kind of almost the mascot for Gen 5. Because a lot of people, when they think Gen 5, they think Braviary because they think New York, America, America bird.
I don't want to be an American bird. I don't want to be an American bird.
So my last Pokemon is Braviary. So let us know down in the comments below what Pokemon you would put on a Leo-centric team.
True. Do it.
And when we come back, we're going to do a quick wrap-up.
Yes, we heckin' are.
Well, we hope you have enjoyed this episode. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with a friend. We would really appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your uncle. Tell anyone. Anyone that you think would love Pokemon. So, wrapping things up real quick. Remember, we got Rillaboom raids starting at the end of this week. Also, this weekend is the Poliwag Community Day in Pokemon Go, where I believe it's Ice Beam that you can get on Poliwrath and Politoed. I believe both of them. Double check. We can add that at the end of this. But that is happening this weekend, as well as the Dark Terra type Charizard event distribution for Scarlet and Violet. And Pokemon Sleep is finally out. Hey, merch news that I'm missing?
No.
No. She's like, I already did this once. I
I
already
did
did
it
this once.
twice, actually.
Uh, no, she did do it twice, but we only recorded it once.
All we really have to look for is the Pokemon Sleep plushes that I'm hoping are coming out. I was really hoping that they would come out like last week, and they didn't. So maybe they'll be out July 28th for like a Friday, because with bigger releases, they tend to like. I would hope at
Wait
least
for the closer to the
a
weekend.
payday,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah. But also don't forget to follow us on socials. We are at ChewNews1 on Twitter. I am at DBradyEW21 on Twitter. Tay?
I'm at TayChichu7 on Twitter and at TayChichu on Threads and YouTube and Instagram.
And remember, next time you choose your news, remember to choose.
Chew News.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.